Okay. Pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We never did this. This is going to be a very, very emotional issue. It's not something that the normal person, if you find out the definition of normal, let me know. Normal or anybody's going to enjoy, but or really want to talk about, but it must be talked about. And want to use your first name? Want to use your name?
Sure, Bryce.
Bryce what?
Bryce Melanson.
Melanson, pas français?
Juste un peu. Quand j'avais 7 ans jusqu'à 13, j'habitais au Québec. And that's all I can
please,
say.
Please, okay, we don't want to hear that. Quebec. It's okay. I was there, La Gaspésie, beautiful place. Okay. Now, tragedy hit here in Fredericton on August 10th. I wasn't in the city. I was up north, and once I hear my friend call me, and then I was sleeping and I couldn't believe it. Two cops were shot dead, two citizens and two cops. And you know, I was puzzled. And one of the cops, Rob Castello, which I had a run-in with, but that's okay. I don't wish no harm, nobody. And then I start social media, start asking questions. Who's this guy? Saw his name. Who's this guy? Matt. Matt what?
Matthew Vincent Raymond.
Raymond. And I asked, I didn't know who he was, because 80% of the people I talk to on the street, I don't know their first name, you know. And a couple of days ago, somebody hauled me over, and then they said, Charles. And then they said, you know the shooter, the alleged shooter. I said, no, I don't. And Charles, you talked to him. I did. Next thing you know, once my ADHD, and you have ADHD, once it connected, I went, oh my God, I almost fainted. And you knew the shooter.
Yeah.
I always amused myself with him. I thought he was funny. But the Justice Building is right behind us, and it wasn't no funny manner when he walk in there. What did you... I know a guy that was paranoid, and he didn't like Muslim. He didn't like immigrants. He would talk to you, look around, and then he would whisper to you. Oh, and he was very paranoid. And I never expected what happened. Go ahead.
Yeah, myself, I didn't directly from him know about his anti-immigrant leanings, but in the shooting, one of the people that lived in the building complex was an Iraqi immigrant family, and according to them, when they were interviewed, Matt, the alleged shooter, they looked directly at him while he was shooting, and he shot straight at them and broke their window, and the bullet went into their son's room. So that corresponds with all the stories that I'm hearing about how he's anti-immigration and anti-refugee.
But what is a guy like that he was protesting? There was immigrants, Muslim, protesting for their rights at City Hall. Yeah. And he was there with a blowhorn. He was there with
I heard it was a sandwich board, but perhaps it might have been a blowhorn.
He had a blowhorn. He had a blowhorn, and he went at protest at the legislature. How did he get a hold of a gun? A rifle? But
the last that I saw Matt fairly regularly, he was working at a superstore that I shop at, and my roommate, who is a hunter, had conversations with Matt to help Matt figure out how to go about getting a gun license. So that's an interesting little connection as to how close all this was to my personal life. But you know, that's how we think of things in terms of how it affects us. But yeah, so my roommate helped Matt get a license, and as has come out in the news, Matt did own the firearm legally. It's a commonly accessible long arm rifle, if you could say.
Like I said, we don't. They said there's a publication ban.
Yeah.
Of what we could say, what the evidence. So we don't know really what's the whole thing that was discussed. Were you in that courtroom?
Yeah, when he made his first appearance on the 27th of
the only appearance.
August, his first appearance so far.
Were you there?
Yeah, I was there.
Okay, now we can't talk about the evidence or whatever publication.
I can talk about what I seen and heard, but they didn't.
But there's a publication ban.
They didn't talk about what that piece of evidence was. They didn't disclose what that piece of evidence was in the court.
How was it in that courtroom?
How what?
How was it? How was?
Well, I would say it was almost totally packed. I could see.
What were you doing there anyway?
Well, you know, you could say that I'm friends with Matt. I mean, every time I saw him,
Buddy.
I would talk to him.
Same here. Same here.
We never hung out other than just bumping into each other and chit-chatting for a few minutes.
Yeah.
So perhaps he was more of an acquaintance, but he was definitely somebody that I had no problems talking with.
No, I had no problem. As a matter of fact, the evening I found out it was him, that afternoon.
Yeah.
I saw a guy on the bench, and then suddenly I thought it was him. That was Matt.
Yeah.
I stopped the bike. I just went, "Are we still paranoid?" And I looked, and it was Earl. You know Earl? Earl at 72 Regent, Earl. Anyway, Earl had, if you've seen him, you know, he had a beer beside him.
Yeah.
He looks at me, he goes, "Do I look paranoid?" He said, "Well, it's the wrong guy."
Yeah.
But we're talking about a person with mental illness. No question about it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And people like us, if you've seen him now, he would know you. He would know me.
Yeah.
And we were talking, a family, what happened, and then how they would love to call him. But now he belongs to the system, and nobody can. I would love to be in the room with him and say, "What the fuck? What?" You know, talk to him. And I don't know if he would talk to me or talk to you, but now it's the professionals, the psychologist, the psychiatrist, but what? I'm talking to you right now, and tonight you could go around and you could come out with a gun, and next thing you know, oh my God, Bryce, or me, or Charles.
Yeah.
What made him crack?
I have my own ideas.
Did you hear any anti-police rhetoric from him?
No, never.
Me neither. Go ahead.
No. I have heard from a number of different people that he would talk about various conspiracy theories, the kind of things like about how, you know, maybe like mass shootings were false flags put on by the government, and that chemtrails, the emissions that come out of airplanes are actually specifically designed with strange chemicals to lower the testosterone in the population, so that like 3/4 of humanity can be culled, and they'll be very submissive, culled as in killed, and then the last 3 million elite of the world will finally run the world. Like crazy insane conspiracy theories. I've heard from a lot of people that Matt believes in a lot of these conspiracy theories, and I'm aware of these conspiracy theories. You can find them all over the internet.
Yeah.
And I think, in my own opinion, Matt fell into this YouTube world of all these crazy conspiracy theories, and he didn't have the appropriate critical thinking abilities to sift his way through it. I have to be very careful what I put into my mind, because although I think I have decent critical thinking abilities, I don't have the best. So I have to be careful what I watch.
You're just like me.
And I think he got his brain poisoned with a bunch of crazy stuff. And also, there's a particular guy that almost completely, he's the king of the conspiracy theorists. He almost completely got banned off of the internet, Alex Jones. And this particular guy, Alex Jones, has a lot of anti-Muslim.
You think he was following Alan Jones?
Possibly.
You think a guy that went over the deep end, shot 4 people, could be brainwashed by Americans' way of thinking?
Possibly people can watch YouTube and fall into these rabbit holes and have their whole almost become radicalized to see the world in a certain way.
It's sad. See, when Justin Book shot those 3 cops in Moncton, I never knew Justin Book, never, and I was hoping there'll be a trial because there was a guy named Daniel Levesque that was shot dead by the RCMP, and the report came out from the Fredericton police that he didn't die from the bullets from the RCMP, he died from a knife wound. And I wanted to know if Justin Book, is that what made him cracked up and go after the police? But we'll never know because he pleaded guilty. Now, our friend, and hey, our friend, our street buddy friend, street buddy friend, I never knew his first name, I never been over his house, I never, I sat down with coffee with him once, I think, but our friend, we know him, and
he's well known in the downtown area.
Yeah, and I'm glad that he's alive, so maybe a trial, if not, I hope he doesn't plead guilty, find out what made him do this terrible stunt.
I have heard from a number of people that he may have been dating the...
No, that's out. That's out. I investigated. No, there wasn't dating. There was no. No.
Is that right?
None. No. I investigated. See, when this happened, I think God really protects me. I wasn't around, and I could have came here the same night, but I didn't want to be around here. I didn't want to be around here at all. So I couldn't do my investigation. But what you just said, no, it was just out of the blue. Boom. But then there's other story which we're not going to talk about. Higher, you know what I'm talking about. There's so many stories in Fredericton, but the bottom line here is mental illness.
That's I would believe that is definitely an aspect of it. You can't just, like, how do you start killing people if you don't have some amount of mental illness going on?
Happens down the States all the time.
Yeah.
But here in New Brunswick, I don't know, it was a wake-up call, and something good got to come out of this. I don't know what. Either the police are going to really, you know, like, get more ammunition and more power on their side with that building behind us, the justice system, or they're really going to start working on their public relations skill with the community. And from what I've seen since the shooting, I think they're working very hard. The community part of it, the community and the police are together.
Sure.
And have you been stopped riding a bicycle with no helmet? Focus, Charles. Sorry.
I always wear my helmet.
Sorry. Okay. See.
I had an accident a long time ago, and I opened my face.
Never mind. But anyway, oh, by the way, if you want to see this guy, speaking of mental illness, go to YouTube, write Charles LeBlanc and ADHD rapper. You'll see Mr. ADHD in action. This is a long one. Doesn't say how much, but it's such a touchy issue. But it's just the only reason I'm doing this is to educate the public on what mental illness. Do you have any last word?
Yeah, if you have bubbling volcanic anger and resentment and depression and loneliness, and you start watching these videos where you think you're starting to figure out the whole world, and all these secret societies are running everything, and all these false flags are happening everywhere, and the government is actually shooting people so that they can take away the, like, try to get some help, because it's not normal to live with all those insane emotions. I have to be like, if the angrier I get, the more I have to still those emotions. I can't let that stuff take hold of me.
I'm always angry.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Scottish. I'm always angry. I live alone, and there's a lot of lonely people up there, and there's a lot of angry people up there.
Yeah.
But there's no resources to turn to. I remember I want to go see a psychiatrist, and the nurse talked to me. What are you doing here, Charles? I want to talk to somebody. At the end, they wouldn't allow me in.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, you're all right, but if you're angry and you're lonely, and like you said, watch this YouTube and suddenly get brainwashed, where do you go? Where do you go?"
I'm just fortunate that that I have a lot of friends that I can talk to, and I'm not alone. I'm not alone with the deepest, darkest things that bother me and can get under my skin and make me angry. I have a place where I can vent that stuff, and I have people that can straighten me out, and they can talk to me about spiritual things and try to help me figure out how I can learn from these situations. But not everybody has that. Like, I would never want to be alone in this world with my loneliness and my angers and my depressions and my worries and my anxieties, because it's just a bad place to be. If you're like that, please try to reach out to somebody, anybody.
And you see a person, like he was in front of Coffee and Friends. He was sitting down, and he was like this. And he had the big remember the sunglasses he had?
Yeah.
And he was just staring and staring. And he would stay there for about an hour.
Yeah.
Don't budge, don't move, just...
Yeah.
And maybe...
And he needed people to talk to. Like I would talk to him, and he had so much to say.
He did?
Just because he was lonely. He didn't have enough people. He didn't have enough friends. Didn't have enough people in his life.
I laughed. He was just going paranoid, and then suddenly he would whisper, and the cop would go by, and I said, "Oh, there's a cop right there."
Yeah.
He would. I would amuse myself with him.
Yeah.
Because he was so paranoid. But now, I think what you said, you're right. But like I said, there's no resources here in New Brunswick to people to just walk somewhere and say, "I need help." Because they start talking about stuff like that, they'll call the police, and then, oh, I don't know. So, do you think we maybe accomplish something with this?
I hope so. You know, like oh man, so many, how many people got hurt over this? Like, just had their hearts torn out. The families and the friends of the victims, the whole police department, like, you know, like the fallen police, they've been over there for years. Costello worked there for 20 years. They were his brothers and his sisters. And
Sarah Burns.
Yeah.
I never met her. Never met her.
It's just like such an unbelievable amount of pain came out of all this, because Matt was ill, and in my opinion, he got brainwashed by crazy stuff that he was watching on YouTube. And then, like I say, I have these other speculations that involve jealousy and whatnot. Who knows if they're true? Charles believes that it's not true.
Yeah, not.
Maybe it'll all come out in the trial. Who knows? Now,
how does a guy like that, with really always on the go, bicycle, it's fun. This is just a wake-up call to me, to you, to everybody, anybody's watching. We're free right now. Sunday, we're enjoying a coffee, we're sitting in the picnic table.
Yeah. Just
this building right behind us. We better not talk too loud.
Yeah.
But we're free.
Yeah.
Now, this man crossed the line, supposedly, and then he's in the hospital. Then you had these nurse looking after you, and blah, blah, blah. And then you maybe look outside, I doubt it. And don't think he had the picture window, but transferred to a jail cell. Then reality check. This is where I'm going to be for the rest of my life. And how old is he? 49?
48.
48.
He'll probably die in prison. Or some institution somewhere.
Yeah, but you imagine you cross that line, no more alcohol, no more marijuana, it'll be illegal next month. No more YouTube, no more internet.
No more biking. He was a bike aficionado. He loved it. Yeah.
Done. You know what? He must really, 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 really be going through an awful hard time.
His lawyer said that he's in shock, which is understandable. I mean, he lost his mind and he snapped and he killed a bunch of people, and now he's facing the rest of his life living around murderers and maniacs and rapists and tough guys.
A different world.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that I don't have to do something like this again, because, like I said, Justin Book didn't know him, but this guy here.
Justin specifically went after police. He was on a mission.
Yeah, he
take
was.
out cops.
I would love to have a trial. Would have had a trial, find out why he went after cops. Why, you know? But pleaded guilty. We don't know. Okay, so anyway, Sunday morning, just wanted to get this issue. We're not going to talk, and I had the memory card. I took his picture about a month and a half ago. It was right in front of Coffee and Friend, like this.
Yeah.
I took his picture.
Yeah.
And I wanted to show it to him. I said, look, it was paranoid. And he asked me to delete it.
Yeah.
And I said, no problem, I deleted it.
Yeah.
It's still on my memory card right here. If there's somebody that could, I formatted my memory card, so I don't know if you can get it or not, but.
Oh, you probably.
Oh yeah? Well,
yeah.
maybe somebody.
It would take somebody with the appropriate technical know-how.
The cops.
They could probably get it.
Well, I'm sure they get a lot of things. Anyway, sorry, we're doing so good. Okay, focus. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for asking me, Charles.
No problem.
Good to talk to you.
You too.